How's it going, everybody? This is Top Driver. Hope you're having a great day. I'm a little under the weather right now, but I am going to try my best to make this video for you guys. Anyways, it's time for another edition of Random Thoughts. In this series, I talk about whatever is on my mind, whether it's something interesting in the world, a personal story that I want to share, or if I just want to rant about something. And for this random thought, I'm going to be talking about why I do not drink coffee. Yes, obviously almost everybody in this world drinks coffee because it's important that you start out with your day with all the energy that you need. But however, there are still some negative effects in regards to coffee, hence why I have avoided it for years. And I'm going to share with you a few reasons as to why I personally have avoided drinking coffee. Call me a lunatic if you want, but obviously the first time I remember trying coffee was when I was about, 10 years old, something like that, and I had it for like a couple months, and then I just completely stopped drinking it because me personally, I just did not like it. But obviously almost everybody drinks coffee though, because it is literally the thing that you literally see everybody get at your local donut shop or even make from home, whether it's brewed or even just iced coffee. Anything like that though, it has a lot of caffeine and energy in them, and obviously everybody needs that caffeine and energy so that way they can be able to get through their day. But even though it is a good source of caffeine to get that energy and ultimately get through everything that you need to do, there are still some negative things about them. And the first reason why is because of all that caffeine. Obviously, one cup a day is probably good, but once you get a little bit more than that, obviously, that's when you really start to feel all of the effects in regards to that energy. Yes, having a lot of energy is great, but maybe a little bit too much of that caffeine from that coffee, then maybe that's probably not a good idea. The reason why I say this is because even though you have all of that energy though, having too much of it, you ultimately end up crashing near the end of the day. Obviously, it ends up sending you right into a downward spiral, and ultimately, it really just sends you out of control. You have that sugar rush, maybe high blood pressure, and unfortunately, having that much caffeine in your system, it obviously does not go well. Yet there are still some people that literally have about like 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day. Yes, to my boss at New Jersey Symphony, I'm looking directly at you. Still, it's really up to them, if they really need that caffeine, hey, go for it, good for them, they need that energy. But still, having a whole lot of energy like that, it literally just doesn't do well for your health. And that's really the next reason why I don't drink coffee. It is because of the negative effects that could happen when you drink coffee. Like I said, a whole lot of that caffeine, it could potentially mess your internal system up. Your hormones are obviously going to be affected. Your digestive tracts, they are not going to feel very well. And sometimes if you have too much of that coffee, you can literally end up vomiting a whole lot, or maybe you could just end up having like a whole lot of headaches, obviously, and it just leads to a whole bunch of other health issues. I mean, yes, obviously having a lot of coffee can obviously give you enough energy to be able to get through your day, but when you have so much of that though, literally, it's going to do a whole lot of damage to your health, and literally, it can send you into so many mood swings that, unfortunately, you just can't be able to control yourself, and the next thing you know, you might end up being in the bathroom, and obviously, you might end up getting very sick as a result. I don't know how many times that has ended up happening, but either way though, you have to consider the potential health effects that may happen in regards to drinking so much coffee. Trust me, sometimes it's not as good for your health than you think. The third reason as to why is because of how it affects your sleep. Yes, this is a bit of a wild card here. Obviously, when you have 1 cup of coffee, it might be fine, but if you have so many cups of coffee during the day, it can ultimately end up affecting the way that you sleep, and unfortunately, not in a good way. Because you have all of that sugar still in your system, depending on how many cups of coffee that you have had today, you ultimately may end up having a whole lot of trouble sleeping. You may end up having nightmares, you may end up having convulsions, and unfortunately, you may end up being in the bathroom a lot. Trust me, sleep apnea, it is real. And unfortunately, drinking cups of coffee is going to be one of the leading factors, in my opinion, as to why stuff like that might potentially happen. And the worst part is there are still some people that may end up having a cup of coffee before they go to sleep. Dude, do you not realize that, unfortunately, if you have a cup of coffee before you sleep, that you're not going to be able to sleep very well, and then you get up the next day, you are drowsy, you are completely out of it, and unfortunately, you're just not going to have a very good day. I would stay away from the coffee before you go to sleep. So yeah, obviously, having that amount of coffee before you sleep is obviously not going to be very good for your system. And literally, it's just best that you stay away from it before you go to bed for the night, because all that energy that you might still have, you might want to conserve it for the next day. It also just doesn't taste good. I mean, literally, I've tried it a few times when I was 10 years old, and unfortunately, even though I've had at least a few drinks of it, unfortunately, for some reason, it just rots your teeth quite a bit. It causes stinky breath, and unfortunately, it just does not taste well. I mean, it really depends on how you make your coffee. If you have it home brewed, if you make iced coffee, or heck, maybe you even buy it as well. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Whichever kind of coffee that you obviously have is going to determine how well it tastes. And so, most of the time, it just does not taste well for some reason. And yet, some people still have quite a bit of it. That's your personal choice, but you just gotta remember that you're probably gonna have a whole lot of stinky breath throughout the course of the day, and it's really gonna cause quite a smell across the room that you're working at, or maybe even at home as well. So just remember that. But still, it literally causes quite a bit of health problems, like I said before, and bad taste is obviously going to be one of those, because of the way that they are obviously made. Unfortunately, it is just not going to taste well. Finally, the main reason why I don't drink coffee is because it's just not something that you need to get through the entire day. I mean, in my opinion, I feel like water personally is the best thing that you can have, so that way you can get through your day, because unlike coffee, water, it literally gives you everything that you need. You have enough of it, you're going to be able to get through your day without much of a problem. Coffee, it really depends on how much that you have. I'm not saying it's bad not to have coffee. I mean, obviously, we all know how important it is to have all the energy and caffeine that you need to get through the day, but there are still a whole bunch of other good alternatives that will allow you to get all that energy you need. Water, heck, sports drinks or something like that, energy drinks sometimes, if you don't have too much of it, obviously, but coffee isn't the only thing that is out there. There are so many other things that you can have that can get you that energy you need to get through your day. And yeah, while obviously everybody would love to have a cup of coffee, it's just not my cup of tea, unfortunately. I would prefer to have something else, so that way I can get through my day rather than just go to the Dunkin' Donuts nearby me and just have a cup of iced coffee when literally the store says that their donuts are the main thing, not their iced coffee or something like that. Obviously, though, customers gotta pick what they want, and obviously, the majority of them are gonna go for their coffee instead of their donuts. So, obviously, it is what it is, but either way, there are better things to have in the morning than coffee. Again, I haven't had coffee since when I was a kid 16 years ago, and obviously, I still remember how bad it tastes, obviously. Is there a possibility I could still drink coffee again in the near future? Possibly, but not right now, because personally, of all the reasons that I just mentioned, and because it's just something that I do not like. Coffee, while it is important to have enough of it to get through your day, having too much of it is still going to cause a whole lot of problems for your health, and ultimately it'll give you so much caffeine and a sugar rush that, hey, maybe your health can go into a real downward spiral. And that's just exactly why I personally avoid having coffee overall. Now, obviously, for those that have coffee, hey, good for you. You absolutely need that energy, so maybe one coffee a day is good enough for you, but don't have too much of it, because otherwise everything that I just explained in this video, that's exactly what's going to happen to you. And unfortunately, the next thing that could happen is that you end up in the hospital with a whole bunch of health issues. Promise me, you do not want to end up there at all. Alright, that's just my random thought for today. Obviously, I know the majority of America in the world obviously have some sort of coffee during the morning, but obviously, though, there are some people that don't. So I would like to hear from you. If you have had coffee, what does it taste like to you, and what does it feel like? Or if you don't have coffee, what have you used to get your energy during the morning, and would you ever consider drinking coffee? Feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I'll be more than interested in hearing your opinions about it. Anyways, that's going to do for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know my latest video is released. Comment below for future suggestions for my videos, whether it's blogs, projects, or challenges, you name it. Leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to make them. As always, follow me on my social media. All the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you're having a great day. As always, I hope to see all of you again in another video very soon. So long, everybody.